There are a lot of crypto YouTubers out there who are gloom and doomers calling for really low numbers for Bitcoin. I think they're flat wrong. In this video, I'm going to show you why. And also by the end of the video, I'm going to link you to extra resources that you need to watch in order to have a more profitable crypto journey. So make sure you stay until the end. I'm going to make myself small. I want to start off with the daily update video that I provided for my exclusive gated Discord community. Links in the description section. I want you to see what I let them know.
All right, here's your daily video
as
update.
Of now,
let's start with the weekly. After a closure above,
if my computer stops freezing, I want you to see my mindset of why I thought what was going to happen before it actually happened, okay? So this is from yesterday when we only had one red candle. Here's what I was thinking and why.
So again, in summary, I don't think this candle is going to flip red and stay red, okay? It could flicker red for 15 minutes, maybe, but
that is the weekly chart. So based off of the strong weekly closure where my cursor is from the previous week above 60K, the strongest weekly closure in Bitcoin's history. Bitcoin has never closed a week that high. This week can't stay red. Like it can, but in terms of statistical probabilities, right? Which is what trading's about. Price could go sideways, price go up, or price can go down, right? Right now, in terms of the weekly candle going down and staying down, it's not likely. It's not likely. And that unlikely scenario could play out if this is whale games, which is possible. However, what we do in trading is you go with the most likely scenario, and so these are the reasons behind that. So let's keep playing this video.
I think that's the top two likely scenarios. All right. So, and that's all because of this weekly closure above 60K. All right. So the daily, so this would be day 2, wick below. And, the weekend could just chill, like big wicks, but small candles, maybe down and close a doji, like weird stuff. But I think the short-term time volatilities, the BBWPs, I think we might get floaty stuff in terms of daily wicks and hour wicks, but I think the daily candles here will be roughly in this box. Actually, roughly in the blue box I have now, actually.
Okay, so let's take a look at the chart. Let's I keep moving the base stuff around, sorry. I keep moving the video crap around for you. So let's go over to the chart here, fix my screen, and should look good from that standpoint. Sorry. All right, here we go. So let's take a look at Bitcoin and what has played out. Let's go to the daily chart. So I said very specifically, I'm calling for, and did you see the title of it? Daily update 1-2 daily candle correction. So I'm calling for 2 red days, and specifically in that video, I said a wick past or below the daily 10. So honestly, this could be it. This could be it from a daily perspective. Now, within that video, I want to tell you why I thought that. And so what I did there was for my community, we follow a lot of altcoins. So if you're an altcoin geek who wants to make your crypto journey more profitable, you have to follow Bitcoin. That's what my channel does. We follow Bitcoin and Ethereum almost primarily in order to get better gains, because we're here for the gains, right? We're not here to watch Bitcoin do a 5x. Like, we don't care about 5x. We can do a 5x in 5 days during altcoin season with one coin, flip it, do it again, right? So we watch Bitcoin almost from a primary standpoint, and it's almost as if the altcoin themselves that we're going to make money off of, that we make money off, are secondary. So just to be clear with hitting my microphone, clear with my new viewers, this is what this channel does for you. All right, but we're just jumping right into it. So I honestly think that this could be it. However, if you zoom in on this one daily candle, Bitcoin has a habit from a lower time frame standpoint of rechecking the low. All right, sometimes 3 and 4 times. And after it comes down on a lower time frame, it'll come back up and it'll check it again, come back up, make a higher low, things to that effect. So we're going to dive into the smaller candles so we can dissect this one candle here and determine, is this crap over, right? I personally think it is from a level standpoint, but if you zoom in on the hour, I don't think it's done yet. I think there's going to be moves up and check right back down to the downside, most likely. But from a daily standpoint, before we get there, I think that it is simply unlikely from an RSI standpoint, right? This is the daily RSI. I know we didn't get any good checks of the EMA, so it's very healthy if the green, which is the RSI itself, it's healthy if it could come check the 12 EMA. That is healthier. I think what this is from a strict perspective of the daily EMA is a slight overcorrection because you didn't get those, right? So it's like, hey man, we've done a big run here. We didn't respect this line. So like, let's do a deep bow, you know, like for example, like Japanese culture in business, when they mess up, they do a very deep, you know, very like an extra deep bow, right? Whatever. So this is like an extra deep bow to say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't respect you back here, man. And I think that's all that this is. And the 12-hour also supports this as well. So the 12-hour RSI is saying, hey, we do not have any strikes of bearish divergence. And it is very rare. It's very rare that Bitcoin's move is over when you don't have any. So what does happen, though, you'll get moves down and this EMA will leave, and then you'll make a higher, then you actually go higher the next time and then form bearish divergence. There's no bearish divergence here. There was, because there was a high in price, a higher high in price. Actually, you know what? No, right here. There was a strike there. You had a high in price, a higher high in price with a lower high on RSI. So when you have a lower high on RSI, so lower, and you have a higher high in price, that is divergence. Divergence just means opposite directions. Okay, one is moving down. If you connect that, that's down. The price was up. There's only one strike though. One strike typically is not enough, but that was undone because two more higher highs were made. So with that idea that there is no bearish divergence on 12-hour, I mean, it's really unlikely that it tanks from here. It's simply now. What it could do, though, is if Bitcoin screams up to like 68K and does one of these on the 12-hour and then gets stuck under here, yeah, okay, I would probably be taking on shorts. That's a big strike, even though it's not many strikes of bearish divergence. If Bitcoin made a higher high and couldn't make a higher high on the RSI, and it weren't doing something healthy like respecting this to work its way up, right? But it just screamed and made a lower high on the 12-hour. I trust the 12-hour chart. It rarely lets me down. So right now, what it's telling me is this is just an extra deep bow because the daily didn't respect the EMA on the way up, and that's all that this is. Now, you can view this from other standpoints as well. I will. Let me show you what I showed my. This was crazy. Look. So when Bitcoin was here on the hourly, I'll show you this. I let everybody know. Check this out. BTC and F daily candles will likely flip red the second half of the day, right? Because my 1-2 candle theory was both red, but it was green. And I didn't want my community to get all excited and crap. I was like, this is about ready to flip down right now. I let them know why, and I even said follow the numbers. 1, BTC looks like it wants to. Number 2, the Stokes tapped out when on my ribbons that I developed. So these are CosaRibbons. These are not the typical EMA ribbons. I developed them, my own. But anyway, so I followed through and take a look. So look at what this looks like. The price structure. It tanked like 2 minutes later, right after it was. I don't know. Not all my calls are like that time. You can't time trading. It just happens sometimes. So I'll go to the hourly chart. But it feels good to make a call that is also good, well timed, because timing, really, you can't do it. You just have to use statistics. I remember that structure, right? It was right here. So wicked up twice. So it was on this 1, 2, right? So go back to here. Check it out. Oh, I don't think I can get any closer. Anyway, 1, 2, and then take when that hour closed, it started going. Anyway, so from the CosaRibbon standpoint, which is only available to my 2 higher tiers within Patreon, if you wanted to use these, Bitcoin, when it gets into an aggressive upward trading channel, it behaves the same way almost every time. And using the stochastics of the 1 hour and my 1 hour CosaRibbons, it really helps you understand what's going to happen. I think that Bitcoin will end up hitting its lower line. So it's the aggressive channel and the less aggressive channel, but it is parallel. So it's similar to my origin lines. So you call it baby origin lines or whatever. And it ends up behaving the same. And it doesn't actually, Bitcoin does not behave like this very often throughout its price history. It's just during the super bullish moves up typically. So it's done this 3 times since. It's only behaved in a channel like this 3 times since last year, 2020. So let's take a look. at what I was seeing. Let's get rid of the RSI. I don't need that with ribbons. I just need the Stokes. So in general, with my ribbons, if you fall into the ribbons and you make a lower high that has a strong push and you max out, like you get the RSI all the way up, the statistical likelihood of a drop out or at bare minimum to the very bottom of the ribbons is very high, which means altcoins are going to drop. So I gave them an alert right there. It's just, if you backtest this, the statistical likelihood, it's huge. It's huge. It's huge. It's not guaranteed, but it's very high, like well over 75% in that precise situation. Even when the daily RSI, is like that strong, or the 12-hour or the 8-hour or whatever, it just happens. It just happens. All right. So I gave them alert off of that, but also it was happening as Bitcoin. So let's take these EMAs off. Bitcoin was leaving the bottom of the aggressive line, which means, historically, when it leaves this line for the first time after an aggressive trading channel, it hits the bottom line. It doesn't go straight down always. Sometimes it'll hit a horizontal, which, what do we have here? 60K horizontal, and then it goes sideways. But it doesn't just go sideways, straight sideways. It goes back above the 4-hour 10 EMA and comes back down to the same level, hits that line finally, gets close to the gray line on the COSA long ribbons on the 1-hour. In this case, I don't think it's going to touch it. So I think very worst case scenario, since the 1-hour COSA ribbons, the gray line's way down here, there could be, so I think we're going to have a jump up past the 4-hour 10 EMA, probably fail it, come back down. When it comes back down, will that be Sunday? That'll be Saturday. In terms of the floaty price action I was quoting there, I think there's going to be a wick down and come right back up. And that wick down could be as low as 58.6, but I think that would be it. And it would be fast, similar to how on the weekly scale. So that actually means this week will flip red twice, but quickly. On the weekly scale, I said, I don't think this week will close red, right? And it might stay red for, I said 15 minutes, but it might stay red for half a day, whatever. It'll flicker. It'll go from mostly green the whole week and then red for a little bit and then back to green. I still think that's exactly what's going to happen. And so it's all based off the weekly mentality. And remember when I said, hey, this is the 1-day candle, right? Let's dissect it, look at the 1-hour and see how it looked totally different. You can see totally different things, but it's all based off of the statistical probabilities and the top 3 most likely scenarios off the weekly candle. That's why you always start with the weekly. You get your top 3 and your 2 what ifs. In this case, like Bitcoin doesn't need 2 what ifs typically, but altcoins sure as hell do. So with Bitcoin, I typically just do my top 3 probabilities unless things are squeezing and it can get a little tricky. But right now it's just top 3 most probable. So if you're new to this channel, like hopefully what you're seeing here is that the importance of being able to dissect, but even if you're not day trading, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. You need to understand Bitcoin price movement, because if Bitcoin gets a 5% move down and you can see it happening before it happens with a statistical probability, obviously you don't know, right? You can trade your altcoin, not day trading type of stuff, but if your altcoin screaming up to a big horizontal, right? And you can just come on to my one of my many live calls, like 10 live calls a week, and say, hey, Kosa, would you sell here? Or hey, is this a buy? Only Pokemon cards. Definitely not a financial advisor. I don't give financial advice. We talk about Pokemon card trading, buying Pokemon cards and all that kind of stuff. Or you can join the community. Just literally come ask me in those situations. But I try to give you the tools to do that yourself, because I only have about 10 of those calls a week, right? So you can't always be on with me and asking me questions with your microphone and your video on, but anyway, so hopefully from an altcoin perspective, I try to attract an altcoin crowd, but I promise you, even if you're not a new viewer and you've been watching this or my channel for a while, you have to understand Bitcoin price. Because I honestly, in my futures account, I am killing it right now trading alts I typically don't like. I typically try to stay away from futures and alts, but I've been following tight rules, and it's just, uptrends are a hell of a lot easier. And I warned everybody, way back here, this is an uptrend. They're way easier to trade than downtrends. This was a Wyckoff downtrend. This wasn't mass market psychology. I screwed that up. I couldn't make a damn good call until here, which actually my call was 100% perfect at that wick and this candle here. But until from here to here, I was not hitting. I wasn't scoring jack crap. But the whole way up I was, and since then I have been decently. But anyway, so you need to start with the weekly candle. figure out what's the chances of this closing red or green, or is it equal? And therefore, you might not want to be trading a whole lot because it could go either way. But right now, there's a strong statistical probability that this week closes red, green, and it's dipping red right now, which means, so that's divergence, right? Strong probability it closes green. It flipped red for a minute, which means what? This might be a good buy opportunity. So if you're an altcoin fan, so this is why it's so important. So, for example, if BEPRO is already a good buy, right? Let me take off these EMAs. BEPRO is already a good buy. I have drawn in, so I'm going to go to the hourly chart so you can see this. I have drawn in the daily 21. So this is the daily 21 EMA. The daily 21 EMA in a bullish trend is a decent sized dip already. It's already a good buy. But the fact that Bitcoin is doing what it's doing on the weekly scale, flipping red when it's very statistically likely to close green, it makes it even a better statistical likelihood, right? And the only reason why it didn't get a good bounce is because Bitcoin's doing what it's doing. And it's holding it while Bitcoin flips red on the week when it's probably going to flip back green. So it gives you a better statistical edge on your altcoin trading if you follow Bitcoin and you understand the probabilities starting with the weekly candle and know when you don't have an edge. There are a lot of weeks where I can't tell what the hell way it's going to go. And, you might only have an edge on the 4-hour charts. And therefore, if you are a plumber who works 14 hours a day, that's a week that you don't do crap, right? You just stay away. You don't have time to sit there at the charts. And my channel caters to that too. I have two types of, I have two types of folks within my community. Folks who are altcoin traders, which they don't sit at a computer all day and stare at it necessarily. And if you are, stop it, because I know you're not buying and selling that much. You're just watching your money go up and down without taking actions to stop doing that. And I also cater to folks who, while small alts are not popping and doing 4Xs and 5Xs regularly like they will soon, which we're here for the profit, baby. We're here for profit pimps. But anyway, we're doing some day trading with altcoins, like for example on KuCoin on a futures account. So I'm giving about 10 alerts a day. So regardless of what type of person you are, hey, I work too many damn hours, stare at the charts too much for more than 1 hour a day. Bam, that's actually the base of my community. But also I've recently started giving very, very, very frequent alerts for folks who want to day trade. So if you liked what you saw here today and you're an altcoin fan who really doesn't, you never expect to be a day trader, hopefully what I said here today is a little bit compelling, right? It's compelling. Specifically in regard to, you need to know at bare minimum, even if you're not a day trader, you need to know how to look at short-term timeframes on the daily and starting with the weekly, because it gives you a better edge on your altcoins. Did I make a good case? So if I sucked at being compelling with this, and it's not compelling at all, let me know down below. But I promise you, if you're an altcoin person and you're skipping my Bitcoin videos, don't do it. Don't do it, because it'll greatly affect your trading, especially if you're clicking around more than once or twice a week. All right. So if you're new here, like we saw, hit that bell, hit subscribe. And if you're returning, smash like for me and leave me a quick comment, because that's going to extra help the algo so that I can continue making videos for you, keep you in the know, and I can continue making your crypto journey as profitable as possible. Let's get it.